and I was a multi-project manager, and I had to make sure that those projects grow and expand, I realized, wait a moment, these are all the skills that I learned in psychology. There are daily habits, weekly habits, and monthly habits. If you just install that, you are super agile.
Welcome back to the Be Better broadcast. Today, we are speaking about a topic that is very close to my heart, a topic that has allowed me to even begin my business, a topic that's allowed me to find success in my business over the course of time, and that topic is sales. We're going to talk about how to supercharge your sales career as a salesperson, a sales leader, and a business owner. Whether you're any of those three, you will find value out of this conversation today. And to do so, we have a very special guest all the way from Austria, and his name is Simon Severino. For those who don't know Simon is the author of the book called Strategy Sprints, and he is the CEO of the consulting firm of the same name. Simon has helped thousands of entrepreneurs and business leaders reach financial freedom to where they too have a firm that runs without being dependent on them. Much of Simon's strategy helps leaders within the B2B world, but his message can assist anyone looking to up-level their daily business and career performance. Simon is an established speaker, having spoken with TEDx and the highly acclaimed podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire. And today, he brings his superpowers and knowledge of sales and his vast sales experience to the Be Better broadcast. So when you take away even just one idea, one piece of sales strategy or philosophy or mindset that helps you, all that we ask is you share this show with just one other person who could use it as well. You're the reason that we've grown to over 320 episodes and over 100,000 downloads over the past 2 years, because you are the best part of the Be Better team. Without further ado, the man himself, all the way from Austria, across the ocean, Simon, it's great to have you, brother. Thanks for being here.
What a generous introduction. Thank you. Hello, Brandon. Hey, everybody.
Hey, it's good to see you, sir. You have a very vast experience of sales from your own background, and you have your book, Strategy Sprints, which, for those who haven't read it, it's 12 ways to accelerate growth for an agile business. So tell me, Simon, how did you come to be in this world of sales? How did you come to be in the world of business? Give us an idea of your background, if you will.
By chance, actually, I studied something completely different. I studied psychology and philosophy, and then I was bored with being a psychotherapist, a shrink in most countries. And I found it so boring that I started looking for something else. My passion was when people were not telling me their dreams, but actually telling me what they're building and how they are launching something. And I realized, those topics, those are my topics, and those people, those are my people. So I pivoted. I went into one of the big strategy consultancies. I moved quickly up the ladder, jumping career ladders quickly. Every 1.5 years, I was moving from junior consultant to senior consultant, junior project manager, senior project manager, etc., up the ladder. And then I had full responsibility from acquiring the project, delivering the project, and continuing the project. And I said, wait a moment, now I have the full skills, the full value chain. Why don't I do this on my own? So I started my own consultancy. Fast forward 21 years later, I am my own boss. I own my consulting agency. And what I help people most is with sales, how to supercharge their offer, attract the right clients, and have fun in sales meetings and in sales conversations.
That's beautiful, brother. What a history, especially starting back in the days where the internet was young. It was a very different world. And now you're able to take all these learnings and actually put them towards using the internet to your advantage. So I'd like to ask you, and it's very interesting you said the psychology was your background, because I'm sure that set you up for sales success, because I didn't learn anything about psychology before I went into sales at 18, and that's 11 years ago now. I'm 29. But I learned very quickly that psychology is very, very important when it comes to understanding people, knowing what people want, realizing that people don't really care about you or your product, only what you or your product will do for them. So did you find that psychology and that experience set you up for success in that world?
You're hitting the exact point. I was never interested in economy or money or anything. I didn't even know what sales is the first 25 years of my life. And I was interested in books, in culture, and in people. That's how you become a psychologist usually. Then, when I was in charge of sales, because I had those big accounts, I had to grow them according to my role. And I was a multi project manager, and I had to make sure that those projects grow and expand. I realized, wait a moment, these are all the skills that I learned in psychology. This is all about understanding buyer safety, buyer risk, buyer needs, buyer wants. Wait a moment, I have hundreds of models and of tools and of processes to listen, to cater to that, to design conversations around that. And so I realized that psychology and sales, that's actually an 80% overlap. The rest is technique. Technique can be taught pretty quickly. We teach sales for sales teams, with sales teams. We do sales technique feedback and sales technique implementation. Like we have 274 sales templates in the Sprint University, which is on your phone. You are responsible for growing revenues. To me, you are like Iron Man. You are always in action, in phone calls, in meeting the client, in meeting the prospect, at an event. So you are like Iron Man, action, 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 immersed. You don't have time to read a book about sales. You don't have time to build a better CRM, to build a simpler script. You are in action, right? So if you're Iron Man or Iron Woman, you need Jarvis. So we are Jarvis. We are 24/7 there. We are on your phone, and you can ask, hey, sales coach, I have this pitch. This is my plan. Poke a hole in it. It's in half an hour. And so in the next 20 minutes, the coach will help you, will give you feedback on that presentation, on that plan. And also you will record it, give him the recording, and they will give you feedback. So behind me, for the people who are watching this on YouTube or LinkedIn, those are some examples. The yellow pyramid here, that's the buyer psychology, buyer safety, step by step in 8 steps. How do you keep buyer safety high and buyer risk low in all the 8 steps of the sales conversation? That's the demo call. And then on the left side, this is how you prepare. The blue circle, this is how you prepare for a sales conversation. Before you enter that call, go through those 6 questions, center yourself. So we might unpack some of those. But what I do in sales coaching, there's a sales team, there's a sales leader. They both get coaching. We do the pipeline review. Which opportunities did you create this week, guys? What's your plan to move that to the next stage? Let's say from pains identified to proposal sent. What do you need to move them from this stage to that stage? And then we coach them immediately there, like Jarvis to the Ironman.
Sure. Yeah. What's buyer safety? That's something that's new to me.
Yes, and it's new to many people. That's why it's a mission for me to tell people that the old sales model is broken. The old sales model where you try to push something onto somebody. Hey, hello, I have something. It's $70, but you can have it for a discount. Do you want it? That's broken. And you cannot do complex sales like that in the modern age. That's old. It's broken. Nobody wants it. So what is actually a better model? And I think that's the modern, especially the digital sales model. What if we think about the buyer and think first about the buyer's journey and then about our sales material, and design and craft our sales material according to the buyer's journey? In step 1 of that pyramid, visualization, they are at risk. I'm talking to you. I don't know you. I don't trust you. And I think you want to sell something to me. I don't even want to talk to you. I would prefer just check Amazon for reviews or check Google for reviews than talking to you, actually. That's stage 1. No trust. And I don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So from the buyer side, high risk. Can I trust this person? Am I wasting my time? Am I in a fishing net of something sketchy? Will they push something onto me? Do they have some psychological tricks coming soon? So it's terrible. Stage one.
Yeah.
And now what the old school model says is, oh yeah, talk about your company and why you are great. You are totally missing the point and losing the sales here. If you start with talking about yourself, nobody cares about you or your company. They care about, can I trust this person? Why should I even listen to you? Why should I invest 30 minutes of my time right now with you? That's the only question that they have. And so we have to design that part of the script, that part of the conversation around buyer safety. They are at risk. What if it goes sideways? What if this guy is not legit?
Yeah.
What if it works with everybody but not with me? What if this goes sideways and my reputation internally is at risk? What if this goes sideways and our brand reputation is at risk? What if this goes sideways and
You waste your time.
we waste time, and time is money? So that's what's going on emotionally. So a good salesperson trains that conversation and brings that immediately. Step two, all right, let's talk about frustrations, risks. What are you looking for? What have you tried already? What have you found? What else do you have in terms of options? Can I help you have a good decision-making process? What are the criteria that you're looking at? Are those the right criteria? From my expertise, hey, add this criteria. So we are creating value, and by creating value, because we create insights, because we are the experts, they are doing their own thing. We are the experts. We are doing this thing every day, 12 times a day, over years. That's the difference between the expert and the non-expert. So
true.
we create value by sharing our expertise. There's a moment of commercial teaching in there. And we say, look, this is your decision-making process. This is where you are. Can I help you get to the next step? And if we create value in each step, they will ask for the next step, for the next intensification of working together. After the discovery call, hey, can I have a demo? After the demo, hey, can I have an offer? After the offer, hey, when can we start?
Yes. So this idea of buyer safety is shifting the conversation from this is who I am, this is how long I've done this, this is our company, to talking about that person, asking about their frustrations, asking about what they've tried already, asking about what their goals are, and helping them and delivering value before we even talk about what our program or product or service even looks like. Is that right?
Yes. In the sales conversation, in every email, on your website. Let's go right now, everybody listening here, go to your website and double check. Are you talking to them, about their fear, about their risk, and where can you bring them? First 7 seconds of your website. Then, yes, check. It's around buyer safety. Or is it about you? We are this, we do this. Then we might tweak it and you will have better win rates.
Is there a time and place to have an about me section though? Just maybe not at the very beginning?
Yes, people click it,
Okay.
but it's not the beginning.
Yeah.
The beginning is, hey, you, I see you. You are right. You have found the right place. This is where heroes like you who are on this mission of doing this find what they need, because the problem is X. And look, we understand your problem because we know it feels like this. This is the time problem, the money problem, the resources situation. Look, Andrew had that. Lisa had that. Look what happened to them. Lisa, Andrew talking about how they went from problem through the journey to solution. Now, do you want to know more about it? Hey, let's talk. First conversion button, high contrast. Second story, again, second button. Third story, third button. This is for most people the best way of starting a landing page, a website. And this is how you make them feel connected and heard and seen. Because what do people want? I go back to my shrink beginning. What is the real need of every human being? To be seen, to be heard, to be understood.
Wow.
across all countries.
It's true. That's the human condition. And this is so important, not just for a website, but this is just as important for that face-to-face interaction between a retail salesperson or someone who's making a cold call. It's over the phone, not saying, hey, my name is Brandon. I'm from Be Better Industries. This is what we do. It's like, they don't care about that. They're wondering, why are you calling me? What's the purpose of this? How can you help me? Do you understand my problem? Are you listening 80% of the time, or are you talking to me 80% of the time, right? I see a lot of salespeople, especially new ones, and sometimes even veteran ones who just happen to continue squeaking by, who talk 80% of the time and listen 20. And it's like, they didn't come in here to listen to you talk. They came in here for you to do exactly what you just said, Simon. Listen to them, hear them, and understand them. And I think that if people literally turned this conversation off now and said, okay, that's what I'm going to take away for today, and you confront every sales conversation, every prospecting call, every interaction between you and a client from the idea that your only role is to understand them and solve their problem and provide value, then you've taken enough away from this conversation. I think that's brilliant.
I'm getting like 5-6 recordings every week from people who are in our sprint coaching program, and they ask for feedback. Hey, Simon, that's my sales call. This is the best and this is the worst sales call that I had this week. Please give me feedbacks on those 2 videos. And one thing that we do is we run it through an AI that immediately shows us the percentage of who was talking how much. And there is a strong correlation. If the salesperson was talking 30 to 37% of the time, that's actually the highest win rate. Everything above 37%, close lost.
Wow.
So exactly the reason that you said. But now we have some more numbers because AI is helping, is documenting everything, and is telling us, hey, your email language, look at this. Hey, look how much you are talking in the sales call. So we run AI all the time. Because it just gives us that quick feedback that I can bring immediately into the next pipeline meeting. I have weekly pipeline meetings with our clients. And in the pipeline meeting, I say, hey, guys, you just moved from an average of 45% talking to 43%. Congrats, way to go. How much can we improve next week? And so in small iterations, because that's important, you have to feel progress and celebrate progress. 2% is fine. 2% a week is actually amazing. If we can keep that up 12 weeks of the sprint, 12 times 2%, that's 24%, and it compounds. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's a great way to use AI too. I've never thought of loading the transcript into even ChatGPT 4 and just seeing what that tells me.
You don't even have to load it. It's telling me. I'm a lazy guy. I only build systems where I don't have to load anything or click anything. It's happening. It's on the right side. I'm seeing it all the time. Right now, I'm at 50%.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm seeing it all the time. And it's a Zoom plugin, or you can plug it into any software that you're using. It's plugins.
That's fantastic. Well, you should be speaking more. Maybe I'm talking too much. You should be a little bit over 50%. So let's work to get that number up. Let me ask you, you've talked a lot about strategy. You've talked a lot about technique. What's more important? What holds more weight? The technique and strategy, or the offer and the product itself?
You can have a great product. Tesla has a great product. Almost no sales, almost no distribution, but the product sells itself because people, and I'm one of those, we become ambassadors of the brand. But most of us are not Tesla. Except if Tesla is listening, congrats. Everybody else, guys, we are not Tesla. So we need a great product and we need distribution. On the other side, the distribution of Microsoft is the best on the planet. Their products, sorry guys, they suck. But they have such a great distribution channel that they keep selling. They keep selling whatever they have, because their distribution is impeccable. So you have the champions of product, you have the champions of distribution, and most of us are in between. We need to get both 50-50 right. Because if it's not a good product, people will not tell their friends, they will not stay long, and they will go to Google and then give us a bad review, which is very transparent immediately. So we need both. We need 50-50. If I'm starting a startup, I am a solo founder, then I'm thinking, okay, in the morning I build the product, in the afternoon I sell it. That's my job. If we are two founders, one must be able to build, one must be able to sell. Otherwise, your startup will never fly. So I think it's 50-50.
That makes sense. Let's talk about, in the digital world of sales, let's talk about the creation of a new product. Okay. We're out here, we're saying to ourselves, I want to create the best product possible that I can offer people, so that eventually maybe it will have distribution like Tesla, where I don't have to be out there talking about it. It's all word of mouth. People see the brand, they know the brand. That's the goal. So I'm looking to create a new product. Where do I begin when it comes to creating a new product? Do I begin with asking myself what I like? Do I begin with, these are my strengths, these are my skills? Like, how do you help new founders begin to build a fantastic product and offer?
Two stages of building a startup. The first one is getting to 35K MRR or 35K sales per month. Stage one. In stage one, the only thing that matters is, who are you here to serve and what problem can you solve today? So what you do is you acquire customers for zero. You offer to work, whatever the price, doesn't matter, can be zero, doesn't matter. The only thing that matters in the beginning is speed. How quickly can you iterate? An iteration is, let's say, 7 days or 14 days, one sprint. We like 7 days. In those 7 days, how much can I build? Can I build the landing page and one feature? Then I ship that one feature to those, let's say I have 5 clients for free. So I ship the first feature on Wednesday, and by Friday, I want their feedback and I see how they're using it. So I have a video or some form of heat map that tells me they were clicking this, they were doing this, they liked this, they misliked this. So next week, I improve that feature. Then I ask them again, hey guys, what's missing? What else do you need? They say, oh, I need this. I build that. So this is how you get to 35K. It might take you 6 months. It might take you longer. The mark is 35K per month, because at some point you will feel confident enough. Maybe it's after 2 months, maybe it's after 20 months. But at some point you will feel confident, hey, all the feedback that we got, we have implemented. Now it's good. Now let's charge 80% of the final price that we want. And then you start quickly from 0 to 80% of the price that you want. You don't need anything in between, because the product is either not good or it's good. As soon as it's good, boom, start charging. And then you iterate with them. Now you onboard the next 10 and the next 10. And then it's super, super solid. The product is solid. This is when you start now stage 2. From 35K to 70K, it's a total different game. You have to switch gears. Because now the founder team, the person who was building it, now they are an obstacle. What made them successful will now break them if they stay in the same pattern. So you have to now minimize product offer and maximize promotion, sales. Now everything becomes sales oriented. The whole organization is looking at the pipeline meeting, which is the core. It becomes the weekly most important meeting, the pipeline meeting, where there's 2 questions. Every person gets asked 2 questions. Which opportunities did I create this week? What's the agreed next step? That's it. These 2 questions. But you now change the culture of the company to become a sales-oriented culture. Because now from 35 to 7K means whoever was building has to go one step back, and whoever can sell has to come forward. Because now it's, okay, the product is good. Now it's about scaling it, bring it to new countries, bring it to new people.
Let me ask you, so let's take a step back even from that, because I think that's great. And we started with, okay, we're going to serve a specific audience and we're going to help them to solve a problem. We're going to start by having even a test group of people that we help to get a result even within 7 days, which is amazing. Speed is very important. Let's take a step back. How do you create a product that you know people are going to like and or want? Like, how do you begin to even help a new business create a winning product and offer?
Oh, you ask the user. So sometimes you are the user yourself. So many times we start building something that we are irritated with. So, oh my God, there must be a better way to do this. Let me build it. Mostly that's how we start a venture. And so in that case, we are even quicker because we are the first beta tester. We are immersed into that. So we can scale that even quicker because we build it and we test it immediately on our own. If we are not, then we need to involve them much more and listen much more carefully. But the answer to those questions will come from the user. Whoever the user is, that user will tell you, hey, this is working, this is not working. So because every 7 days you will be asking what part is working well, which part do I need to improve? What else do you need?
Yeah, the reason I ask that is it's more of a selfish question because I one of the first products I created back in 2019 was my first digital course. It was a goal setting course. And the reason I created that course was exactly what you just said. I was someone in my early 20s who had no goals. I didn't know how to transform my life. I had a mentor come into my life and he helped me employ a process that really has brought me to where I am today. And goals was a very, very important piece of that. So I said, okay, I know that I needed goals. So let me help other people set and create goals. And the product, it wasn't a complete bomb, but the product never reached its full potential. And I realized I created a product that I wanted, but it wasn't necessarily a product that other people wanted. So I learned from my mistake. And I instead, the next time, performed research. And I went on Facebook, I went on LinkedIn, I went on all those platforms. And I said, hey, can you guys help me by completing a quick 5-minute survey? And they went in and I had about 70 responses to this survey about what your problems were, what's stopping you from reaching your peak. If you could invent any product that could help you in your life, what would that be? I asked them a series of questions. And from that, I created my next product, which was called the Be Better Bootcamp. And it was like a night and day transformation. Like now people are like, oh my God, I want to be a part of this. I want to sign up. This sounds great. This is exactly what I need. So by shifting from what I wanted to make to what other people actually wanted, yet still being in the same umbrella of personal development, personal growth, life transformation, I was able to finally create a profitable product. But it was very painful the first time around having a product that people didn't want because I was crafting it only from what I wanted at the time.
Exactly. And this is a great story because this is real entrepreneurship. And this is how we all created the first launch. My first launch was very similar. I went to MIT and did a pretty expensive course about product and service innovation. So product and process innovation. And then I said, wow, that was so boring and too many slides. And I can do this much more entertaining, much quicker, much sprintier. So let me build a better one. A full summer I spent building, heads down, and then launch day, ta-da, cratered. So what did I learn? The next one, I said, okay, let's make it different. It's a series of workshops. It's just a couple $1,000s. But come in, I take 10 people in the first cohort and then 10 in the second cohort. I did it with them. I drafted 5 areas of innovation. Where do you need help with innovation? And then I was workshopping it, and that was recorded. Afterwards, it was transcribed. And at the end of every session, I would ask, what do you need in the next session? What are you solving right now, and what do you need to solve it? So those modules changed. In the first cohort, I implemented that feedback. Second cohort, the order of things changed. Some tools were completely deleted. New ones had to be built. Fifth cohort, sixth cohort. After the 8th cohort, nothing was moving anymore. Everything was in order, and they said, okay, nothing to improve. Then I knew this is ready. And this became the book, the main program, because now you have a product. But the way you create it is immersed in the field, in the action. And whatever they ask you more than once, you save it, and that becomes the next module. And whatever works 3 times, you save it. And that's the next process or tool. So after 3, 4 iterations, meaning 3, 4, 5, 6 cohorts, you have a product that works. That is then the recorded course or the book or the program.
That's great. I love that, because it's not like, hey, go out there, create this product, and then it'll win and you'll be able to scale it. It's not the reality. But there's a lot of books and other people out there who speak on sales and business who make it sound simpler than it really is, but it really is a journey. Like, I only found that profitable product after failing. I spent thousands of dollars on advertisements and on all these different things. And I had the advantage of a great sales career that allowed me to fund my business and not need to collect money from the business at first, which I'm a big believer in. And I failed, and through failing, I was able to finally create that product, which I'm still working on making better every single day. But I think that's really important for people to hear. So I appreciate you sharing that. I want to ask you about your book, Strategy Sprints. Okay. Do you have a copy next to you that you can hold up to the camera by chance?
Oh, no, but it's there.
Oh, it's behind you right now? Okay. Oh, yeah, I see it. Perfect. It's right behind you on the bookshelf for those watching on YouTube or LinkedIn. So let's talk about Strategy Sprints. Now, this is 12 ways to accelerate growth for agile businesses. First question is, what's an agile business? What does that mean?
You know, those series of workshops, they became the book and the program. They were asking me questions like, Simon, how can I have contracts that I can change quickly? And I was like, why do you need to change them quickly? Because I don't know what's happening. Maybe a supply chain breaks. Maybe I don't have the money anymore. Maybe I want to switch to something else. And so, okay, you need to change vendors and change contracts quickly. That became the agility chapter, because it's a real problem for entrepreneurs not having contracts that bind you for 2 years when you don't know what's happening in 2 months.
Yeah.
So one part was agilizing every single contract. You want to optimize for maneuverability as a company, so that you always have multiple options and you can quickly change your path from north to west to southwest whenever you want, because the market is giving you that opportunity. You want to ride that opportunity. So one important thing, how can we make this agile? And agile means you can change stuff immediately. Then you are super agile. If markets changes faster than you can change stuff, then you are rigid. And then you have a problem. And you have experienced it over the last years. If the recession comes and you cannot adapt your offer, you have a problem. So agility is, hey, I can change all suppliers. I can change all contracts. I can change my offer. I can change my website. I can change my product. I can adapt as quickly as the market brings opportunities. Then I'm agile.
That makes a lot of sense. Being able to change and adapt quickly. And I'm guessing that the larger you get, the more difficult it is for that to happen? Or am I wrong in saying that?
In theory, yes, but I know a ton of small teams that are super rigid, and I know huge enterprises that are super agile.
Okay.
So the practice is you don't have to become a legacy organization or a rigid organization at any size, actually. It's more, people are making stuff more complicated than it is. You can run, if you just use the operating system from the Strategy Sprints book, there are daily habits, weekly habits, and monthly habits. If you just install that, you are super agile. Whatever the market throws at you, you can run with it. You can adapt. You can take it and use it and leverage it. The daily habit is everybody writes down, how did I allocate my time today? What will I delegate tomorrow? What will I automate tomorrow? So again, we use software and AI to help people get rid of boring tasks. Everything that can be done by a software should be done by a software. Because we need the people to think, to strategize, to solve problems, to tackle bigger problems, to think about the client even better. How can we make it wow? How can we create a surprising moment, a delightful moment in operations, in sales, in marketing? That's what we need humans for. And if they're doing admin tasks, they don't have time to do that. So admin task to the software, automate it. That's the first part, daily habit. What to delegate next to a software. Everybody does that. You stay agile because now humans are doing human work and software is doing the boring stuff. How it should be. Weekly habit. One dashboard where everybody looks at the one marketing number, the one sales number, the one ops number of that week. What week? I get my numbers every month. And I say, okay, do you decide every month? No. How often do you decide? 5 times a day. So when do you need that data? 5 times a day? Yeah, you need a real-time dashboard. So keep it simple. One marketing number, one sales number, one ops number every week. Now you have solved multiple problems of most teams. Alignment. Making sure that marketing and sales and ops are actually aligned on what they do. Also flow. They do something and they immediately get feedback. It's like Angry Birds. You shoot the bird, 500 points. You shoot the bird again, 800 points. What do you want to do again? You want to shoot again because you want to go for 1,000 points. Imagine you shoot the bird and then it says, you will get your points report in 4 weeks. So that's people make it complicated, but it's not complicated. Reduce the number of metrics to 3 and reduce the cycles of measuring to 7 days. Now you're agile. That's the weekly habit. And then the monthly habit is competitive analysis once a month. Where are we winning against competitors? Where are we losing? How can we cut 15% of our budget from the features where we're losing? Let's not reinvest into losing. Let's not reinvest into being mediocre. Cut 15% there, give it to your competitors, and reinvest in the next month 15% resources. That's money and time and attention. Reinvest those 15% into the 2 features where you're currently winning. So you're currently winning. You add 15% to that. You have now a strategic advantage. You are 2 meters faster than your competitors.
Yeah.
And you don't need 200 meters. You just need 2 meters.
Yeah. What you measure grows. And the more often you're measuring those metrics, not 50 metrics, because then you're going to get overloaded, but the more you can measure those 3 metrics, it gives you a real idea of where you are. And sometimes you'll look at those numbers and you may not be happy with those numbers, especially on the first launch, the first iteration of that product. The marketing budget is way up here, but the sales are way down here. You're wondering what's going wrong, what's going on. But just look at those numbers for what they are. They are facts and they are numbers, and that is where you are. Try to detach the emotion from those numbers, especially when those numbers are high as well. And like you said, ask yourself, how am I winning, right? How am I losing compared to the competition? All those things. So those are great habits. Are those what you coined as the CEO habits? Are those the same things?
Yes.
Okay.
3 habits for the CEO, because I am the CEO. I had to build them for myself in order to navigate all weathers, right? And all market conditions. Bear market, bull market, it's the same 3 habits. And then I realized, wait a moment. And I gave those habits to everybody in my team, from the VA to the head of marketing. Everybody had these same 3 habits. And then we started sharing it with our clients. Now every client uses those 3 things and they call it the strategy sprints method. So that became then the book. And now it's a global franchise that's expanding over countries. We are certifying people and they are using the same 3 things in their vertical, in their country. But it started with me needing an operating system for the digital world, for me to be able to navigate all these strange things that were coming from pandemics to supply chains breaking to bear markets.
So let me ask you this. Out of the 12 ways to accelerate growth in your book, which one is closest to your heart? Which one do you believe is most vital to a salesperson and or a sales business's success?
You know, those 12, it's like a cookbook. So chapter 1 is, this is how you do marketing, the process for finding your ideal marketing system. Chapter 2 is sales. Chapter 3 is operations, how you onboard clients, how you deliver wow to clients. And then the last chapters are hiring, how you scale across countries by adding people to something that already works. So it's more like a cookbook. It's like the beginning is, this is the breakfast section, this is the lunch section, and this is the dinner section. So I cannot pick one, because in the morning, breakfast is the most important thing for me, but in the
Yeah.
evening it's dinner. It's more like a cookbook, and you don't have to read it at once. I use it like a cookbook. So, hey, it's morning, give me some breakfast ideas. My marketing is not working right now. Let me double check the marketing chapter. And literally, I open up chapter 2 marketing, I go through it and go, which step did I skip again? Because even myself who wrote it, I always think that I'm smarter than any process. And it's never the case. So whenever I skip a step, I have to pay the price. And so I then go back to that chapter and realize, I tried to skip step 6. So I redo it properly, then my marketing works.
Got it. So it's not necessarily one's most important, but the order in which you follow them that is most important.
Yes, you always have one bottleneck. Let's say in this month, your bottleneck is marketing. Then you will go to the marketing chapter, use that process, use that checklist, solve the marketing problem. Then in the next month, you have a sales problem. Then you go to the sales chapter, use that. And then when you solve marketing, sales, and operations, then you have the hiring problem. So you go to chapter 12 and 13, the hiring problem. So it's bottleneck oriented. Whatever is your current bottleneck, I would go to that chapter and focus on that for the next 7 to 14 days until you have solved that bottleneck.
That's great. Let me ask you a personal question. So you're a very energetic guy. You're obviously in great shape. You have been doing this for a long time. You're helping a lot of different businesses craft their sales plans, create revenue scale. How do you personally, because you're high energy like me, maybe even a little bit higher energy, how do you personally maintain that energy and show up on a daily basis, especially like when you were at the beginning, when you're first creating these products, you're failing and then you're reiterating, like how do you continuously show up even on the days that you really don't feel like showing up?
Oh, that's a great question. And that's actually my next book that I've started writing yesterday. It's called The Inner Game of Sales. And it will come out 2024, probably.
Cool.
And that's a huge set of questions that I'm getting from my community, like right now from you. And I think it's really important how you manage yourself and your energy. I can give you the short version. The short version is I stopped doing anything with the people that I don't find energizing, and I stopped taking on projects that I don't find energizing. And I stopped doing anything that is not measured every 7 days in terms of progress. Those are my 3 cuts that I did.
What are some things that you had to cut?
Oh,
Give me some examples.
I did cut so many things. Big brands that had me on a retainer for hundreds of thousands a month just to do their go-to-market. But they were not willing to measure marketing progress of that go-to-market activities every 7 days. They were full of excuses, and the quickest iteration was 30 days. And I said, guys, this is not a sprint project. So do you want to sprint or not? And they were full of excuses because they didn't actually want to win. They were just getting their paycheck, whatever happens. And so I realized, great for you guys, but that's not me. I will only take on weekly measured projects. So if you are no sprinters, it's fine. I'll help you find a better coach for you, but I'm out. And so I said no to hundreds of thousands per month without having already the alternative. But I felt inside of myself these 3 rules, they will make my life better. And it worked out. A few months later, I had other projects and they were sprinty.
Yeah.
They were every 7 days and teams were getting applause and energy. Oh, I did this. It generated 17 registrants at the event. Okay, how do you convert the registrants into sales opportunities? And they were like, yeah, I had 7 calls. 5 of them picked up. 2 of them are scheduled on the calendar. Woof, the energy of that team raised from week to week.
Yeah.
And that energy that flows back to the coach, because you see them lighting up. And so when I see 10 teams a day progressing, lighting up, I light up. So I'm happy to serve those teams because I know every week there will be 1%, more energetic, happier, prouder. And I'm a father of 3. So I know that those people, they go home either grumpy and then they bring it to their family, to their dinner table, or proud and happy and creative. And then they bring that energy to the dinner table.
Yeah.
So it's not just directly that the teams are happier, which gives me back energy, but it's also that I know the ripple effects of that. And this is, if you want, my spiritual uh, energy that I get back. I know that I'm improving life for people and for their families by sharing my superpowers, by sharing what I can contribute right now. And that makes me fulfilled. And fulfillment, oh, that's the most important part.
Wow.
Because that's what's, nurtures my soul and my being. That's the
I love
deeper
that.
part. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. I didn't expect you to say, when I asked you what you cut out, I expected you to say, oh, I cut out sugar or I cut out television or something like that. But what you said, I think, was even 1,000 times more impactful when you said, I cut out the clients that didn't want to follow the system in the way that it was set out to be created. Because a lot of people, especially listening or people out there, might be working with people that really don't fill them up. They don't match the vision or the system, or they're not willing to go along with the system that you created that will get them the result. And it's like they might have fear of, well, if I let this person go, if I fire this client, essentially, will there be other ones? And like you said, you then filled up that space and that time with clients who were sprinty, who wanted to follow the process the way that you laid it out. So I think that answer was definitely not expected, but probably the most powerful answer that we could have gotten from you. I think that's great. So Simon, you've got an incredible book here. You have an incredible process. I want to have you back on the show once the Inner Game of Sales is launched or when you're about to launch it. So have your team reach back out to us for that. That's something we got to talk about, especially the fact that you do what you do with being a father of 3. How old is your oldest and how old is your youngest?
Federico is now 8, Alessandro 5, and Olympia is 1-year-old.
Oh, that's awesome, brother. Congratulations. That's super cool. We have a 4-month-old at home right now. He's my first. His name is Leo. And it's made me rethink a lot. And it's comforting to see someone like you who's doing what you're doing with a family of 3. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. You can have the amazing family and you can have the amazing business. And you're out there doing that. So thank you for that fatherly inspiration. Let me ask you, where can people find your book, Strategy Sprints, 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business?
Wherever you buy books. Most people buy it on Amazon, but you will find it wherever you buy books. It's there. Even your local or airport or wherever you buy books, it's there. It's getting translated into Chinese right now. But that takes a while because they want to proofread everything and see if I wrote something damaging to their ideology. Yeah, before they publish it. And yeah, so this is where you get the book. And these tools that we were talking about, the daily habit, weekly habit, monthly habit, they are free tools that people can download from our website. They're open source. Our website is strategysprints.com. And if they click tools, they can download all of them and use them. And I would start with the daily habit, downloading that. It's called the Daily Flow. And just writing down, how did I allocate my time yesterday, today? What will I delegate tomorrow? That's a simple, rapid exercise that will start freeing up your time. And when you have more time, automatically you have more energy.
Yeah. So true. Go to strategysprints.com. Links are in the description below for both Simon's book, his website. And again, we're going to have you back on the show once your next book is launching. And the last thing I wanted to say is I'm going to also have a link to Simon's LinkedIn profile because you've got quite the following there for a great reason. You're constantly showing up. You're constantly giving value. So if you're not following Simon on LinkedIn, you got to go do it right now. Simon, it was a pleasure having you on the show. very happy we made it happen. And thanks for joining us from across the ocean today, brother. It's been great to meet you.
Thank you for being so generous and showing up for your community so regularly.
Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon. Whether you are a sales professional building your career, or you're a business owner, or you're thinking about starting your business and you want to take the money that you're earning from your sales career and put it into your business like myself, then you have a process here to begin doing that. We talked about sales, marketing, the operations, and then the next parts we didn't dive into, but if you start those first 3 parts, then you got to go grab Simon's book, Strategy Sprints, 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business, because he'll show you then how to hire people to remove yourself from the business and then grow a successful business while you're in the background doing the most important works and creating the time to spend with your family and the time to spend doing the things that you love to do. I love this conversation with Simon. I hope that you loved it too. Links are in the description for Simon's website, his book, Strategy Sprints, as well as the daily exercise and habit that we talked about, one of his 3 CEO habits that will help you to manage your time more effectively and really help you to ask yourself, where did I spend this time today? And was it worth my time? If you took away even just one thing from this conversation, please share this show with just one other person who could use it as well. You're the best part of the Be Better team, and we are grateful to you for being that. Thank you for watching and listening, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.